business consultant, trainer, and coach for teamwork, for virtual teamwork, hybrid teamwork. I help organizations to make their teamwork more better, more productive, more fun, more engaging. Gravity Team stands for gravity in the team culture, because gravity is this force that holds us together. And physical gravity is something we are taking for granted. Social gravity is something that sometimes we really have to work on. I am my own boss, so I lead this company as an individual. Obviously, you're never alone, and there's always a team. So I help teams to work better together, and I also work in different teams, and I will introduce some of the projects that I'm working on to you today as well. But now let's start with some stereotypes. And if you guys have any points to add, and if you want to just shout it out, I don't know, maybe we have another microphone because I took one. There's another one here, I don't know if it works. You're very welcome, otherwise we also will be having questions at the end. So we are a small group today, so I would love your participation. All right, so what are some of the stereotypes? I think we addressed already some of them. A management position because of the quota or regulation, or not because of merit. In like maybe 10-15 years ago, it was a big topic that there are not that many women in the senior leadership positions, and there should be some. So many organizations said, okay, we have to have a woman on board, so we're gonna get a woman on board. And many organizations, to put a woman on board, they kind of created a new position. So they already had those established boards, and they kind of put a new position for, I don't know, for inclusion or for culture or whatever, but not really involved, or not very far away from being a balanced board to involve women. Stereotype, truth for you guys to judge and to contribute. More difficult for women to prove themselves and their qualifications. Right? What Nicola was saying, that sometimes we as women, especially if we are in men-dominated areas, like maybe technical IT jobs or even management positions, we are, like seen as beautiful with our nice hair, with our nice clothes, and it's not because of our qualifications. So many women have to work, or think they have to work extra hard to prove that they are there, that they have the qualification, that they have the merit, that they are as good as a man, right? And the third point that I want to address is not having enough time due to family commitments and personal priorities. It's not only, obviously, it's our role as women, and I do not want to encourage anyone here to kind of change their personal priorities. But if a woman would be foregone on an important assignment or on a promotion just because the manager thinks, okay, she's just having different priorities. And many us women, we are also kind of expressing this, kind of showing this, okay, right now I have different priorities. Something that Zabina was talking about, I will come back to that later. How does that work? I myself can tell you I'm a mother of 3 children, and they're still quite young. And I might be working not as many hours as some people can dedicate to their job when they don't have children. But it doesn't mean that I'm not looking forward to ambitious projects. It doesn't mean that I cannot accomplish many things, and it doesn't mean I'm not looking for personal growth and personal success. Okay? So let us see where we are. There is a point. Okay? So in the organizational structure, this typical pyramid that still many organizations are having, what we are seeing that at the bottom level, there you go, I have to practice a little bit. So at the bottom level, we are having, in the initial positions, we usually are having a balance. So men, women, equally. In the lower management positions, we also are having equal distribution, but as it goes up, maybe because of women's priorities, maybe because it's so man-dominated, and maybe because the organizational culture has been for many years kind of with the emphasis on personal ambition that men naturally have, but women are missing there from this thing, from this side. So if you go to the upper level, you are missing women, but you don't even have that larger pool that you can select women. So that is why also women who are there, they maybe feel that they are because of the quota and not because of the merit. Because if you want to fill up all these women up there, for the men you select the best one, hopefully, not always, but at least, you know, like in theory. And for the women, you have like, if you have to have them up, there are only few of them, so maybe they are not even ready or don't have their preferences, but they would be the ones going on to all those senior leadership positions. We are having similar statistic, which which I'm happy to see. So it's either we were using the same sources or it's true in some sense. In 2020, there are about 22% of board seats globally held by a female. This is a good improvement since 2010. It was only 12.5, and in 2015 only 16%. So we are getting there, but that's also what Nicola was saying, and I'm really happy to hear that you guys are one of these 5% of companies that have gotten into the balance board, right? So it's not one woman who is not really in the decision-taking role and contributing to this decision-taking, but just being on the board, all right? So what organizations that have embraced this opportunity and took advantage of this opportunity, what they saw already, I think Nicola, you also were saying that, that they outperform organizations and companies that do not have this balance board. Not only one or two women on the board, but the balance board. They're equal, more or less equal. A number of men and women on board. So they have higher return on sales, they have higher return on investment capital, and they have higher return on equity for the listed companies. But it's not only that. Organization with balanced board, and Bergman Partner is a very good example of that. They are having also a more inclusive culture, more embracing culture. They unite people more on the values of the company. They promote those values better in the company than is in the man-dominated world. And women and men are different, and this is something that women do naturally better because of our gender roles, right? We can bring our strengths to our work, and we can contribute with them for the working place becoming, I would not say as a family, many really like to say it's a family, it's not a family, but an inclusive and comfortable and psychologically safe work environment. This is something that women can contribute. And also for the women, the more women you are having in the board, the more women you are having in management, then you would see what we have seen with Roger and Patrick, with Nicola, that women help other women to become better leaders, to become better professionals, to become more successful in whatever they do. So it's quite important to be getting there and to start. So future trends, I think this is a really clear future trend, that women should be everywhere where decisions are made and should be contributing to those decisions, be it in organizations, be it in communities, be it in, I don't know, families, everywhere. All right, so this is somewhere that we are going, but we are not quite there yet. And do you know the lady? The lady is Belén Garijo. She was just appointed as a CEO to Merck, to a German larger international pharmaceutical organization, Merck. And you know what? She is one of the most often frequent questions that she has been asked within her conferences, press conferences, and media events after she has held this position. How is it to be a female CEO? And you know what she's saying? I don't know why you're talking about me, a female CEO. I'm a CEO, period. No one would be talking about a guy saying an amazing male CEO. Why is it a female CEO? I'm a CEO. So what we, like the ultimate goal where we want to get is that we are different, but we contribute from our positions, from our perspective, from our ways of doing things. And we are not seeing ourselves as our gender roles. We are not talking about having equal boards. We are having balanced boards based on our contributions, on the value we create within our positions, within our organizations, and within the society in general. All right? So, are you ready to, to contribute your best to creating a better society? Are we as women ready for that? Any thoughts? Yes? Okay. Yes, we are ready. How many may I ask? How many here are representing themselves or small companies, and how many we were talking to many people from international companies or German companies having a regional branch here? Do we have anyone? Regina, are you?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, you are
No, I talk
entrepreneur.
No.
Yes, you're entrepreneur, right? So you're any other ladies entrepreneurs here, or business owners, or parts of, very nice. Yeah, thank you. You too. Very nice, very nice. Yes, very nice. So as we are saying, until now we were talking about women in organizational positions, but this women in board and women in leadership, it's not limited to any of the organizational positions, and we are having, I thought we would be having more here of ladies business owners, but that's also one of the ways to proceed. I would like to draw your attention to one of the projects that I'm involved in. So it's not of Gravity Teams, it's of Exponential Health that I'm collaborating with, and we are starting a project, a program that is called Fab Women, and Fab stands for Future Advisory Board, where we help women to become future board ready. Okay, so this would be a platform with organizations who would be contributing to this platform, who would be being partners with this organization, and they would be sending women to be part of this network. And on the other hand side, we are also working with entrepreneurs, with interesting individuals, with interesting women here from the region. So we are right now in GCC. And what is happening there, we will be focusing on training programs, on continuous learning opportunities, coaching opportunities for women, and making sure that women are board ready. We are saying board ready, we are not saying, female advisory board or anything, future advisory board, the balanced board, but we have to upskill, we have to fill that little gap that we are having there. And we start with the first cohort of training in July, and there will be a free event on that on July 4th that you guys, it will be virtual and physical, so it will be a hybrid event. If you guys are interested, we can talk a little bit more after that, but it's interesting for both organizations and individuals. And we will be, we have some possibilities even to get into this program for free. So I'm really excited to be talking to you later about that. But so what we wanted to achieve with this program, to help ladies be a contribution to the board or to this organizational framework in their future readiness. This region, I'm here in this region since 1.5 years, and what I see, this region evolves a lot faster by using the technologies, by adopting new futuristic business models, and by taking the opportunities that the future and the technology is offering to us. So let me just name a few of the topics that we are going to cover in this initial training sessions. It's exponential dynamics, governance globalization, ethical implications of the accelerated business, audit in the world of IE, future decision criteria and mindset shifts for transformational business opportunities. All right, so I'm looking forward to be talking to you about this later, but now I would like to go back to us, to where are we today, and to talk a little bit about how we personally can not only become more successful, but also more happy and more confident, more courageous in what we do. This girl doesn't look very happy, does she? So, and with many of the women, I was listening to the questions, and it really resonated with what I prepared to be talking to you guys about today. it's a lot, so much in us, so much of this potential that we just want to bring out. And guess what? It's all in our mindset. How do we change our mindset? How do we get that more courage? How do we, what Zabina was talking about, you were talking about the study by KPMG that women are not ready, or they not ready. That women are not ready, or they don't want, or they don't have the courage. I experienced it myself when I was talking to one of the potential clients for the women's program. And they told me that yes, we do want a man representative of the HR department. And he said that yes, we are here in the region. We want to do really a lot to empower our women. We want to include them. So we ask them what they want to learn, how they want to be developed, what would be a good program. We really ask them. And based on their preferences, we have created this program for them. And guess what? They are not ready. They are saying they are not ready. They are not ready to take this step. They are not ready they're not courageous enough to take this next step to balancing maybe the family, maybe some other preferences, maybe their insecurities. Maybe they are saying, I'm not ready because I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the experience, or I have not grown enough. You know, no man would ever say he's not ready for a promotion. But how many of us are saying that? Are those only stories in our heads? You know, it's in the mindset, and we are so much sitting in our own heads. You know, like that prison in the head is the most difficult to get out of. And guess what? The door is open. You just have to know it, that you can just anytime you can step out of your head prison. Disease to please. Ladies tend to try to please a lot more. We are trying to, this is a very good thing if you are in initial positions, so if you are in servant's roles, so if you are, you know, like just supporting roles. But this disease to please is limiting women, many women in their growth potential. You always want to do the right thing. You always want to do whatever your boss is asking you. You always want to do whatever, you know, like the things that have been put to you. That leads to us doing projects that are not visible, that are not maybe important, and that you know, just because we cannot say no in one or the other place, you know. So this is also something to think about. Excessive expertise. Who might have thought that that would be can be a challenge? But how can be a challenge? Do you guys have any ideas? We as ladies, because we want to please and because we want to prove what we are talking in the beginning, in the first slide, we really want to prove that we are competent in whatever we do. Especially in the large organizations. If you're competent in what you do, if you drive whatever you do to perfection, you are, first of all, you're missing the focus for the next position. You don't want to be perfect for the present position, but you want to be ready for the next position. But because you're perfect in the present position, even your boss, he would say, well, if I promote her, who's gonna do her job? She's so perfect in her job. I don't want to, I'm lost there. And she's so perfect, okay? So, and also for ladies entrepreneurs and business owners, the excessive expertise helps you to stay where you are. But the world is changing so fast that you have to have a vision a little bit down the line to see what would be expected, what are the skills of the future, where do I have to develop myself, not only perfecting your role because at some point you only can take that many clients by yourself. You know, like you do your work, you are the best in your work. You cannot delegate it to anyone because you are the best, you are with the deepest expertise. So it's also might be a limitation also in the business world. Underplaying your own successes. Whenever something good happened, whenever we have achieved something, whenever we were good at something, or we were just lucky, or it was just favorable conditions, or the weather was nice on that day, or I don't know, slept better. I don't know, but it's not because of our merit, okay? And if we do that, yes, obviously we are humble, but if we do that, do you know, especially for ladies in business, if you're out there looking for your clients, you are never going to be paid what you're worth. You know why? Because you are only going to be paid what they think you're worth. Okay? And if you on the plate, they say, okay, she never achieves anything, you know, like it's always luck, or it's always someone else's merit, or it's always, even in the team. If you are leading a team, and you're saying, well, yeah, just a natural thing, you know, like that's what you did. It's not, it's also limits the team in their ability to be proud of their successes. So we really have to own our successes. On the other hand side, if something bad happened, that's on us. That's because we are too, you know, not ready, or not good enough, or screwed up, or made a mistake. That's on us. No man would be doing that. The men own their successes, but they just own their mistakes, right? We women, we tend to worry about things. We tend to worry half of the time about things that will not happen half of the time. But you know what? We spend the other half of the time worrying about things that have happened or have not happened. They're in the past. They don't matter, right? And the last thing that I want to talk about in our mindsets that maybe you guys want to think about, and this perfectionist, we were talking about perfectionists. We have many roles, and we want to be perfect in all the roles. You were saying you were not perfect as a mother. You didn't want to, I mean, it's not fair. I'm sure you were perfect as a mother for your children. It just, what I do, I have 3 children, so if I go to a playground, I want to be the best mother on the playground. If I go with you to the presentation, I want the good presenter. If I'm working with the clients, I want to be the best professional. You know, like we do want to be the best, but that puts the internal pressure. And this perfectionism, you can never be perfect. You can never be perfect. If you aim for perfection, first of all, you're never gonna be ready. You're never gonna be done, because you always think you can do better. And second, you will be always disappointed, because you can never achieve it, right? So setting realistic expectations. Very good point that you are saying. Well, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be perfect as a mother. For my children, I am perfect. I have really good relations, that's what you were saying. I will have really good relations, and that's what's important. It's not important that people on the playground think you're a better mother. You know? It's more important for you, for your children, and for relationships. And obviously there are opportunities. Even in this country, we have a nanny, and I'm really grateful for that nanny that can, you know, help me with a 3-year-old. Right? So all those things are in our mindsets, and they are the perspective. And our perspective is not always necessarily that represents the truth. So if you guys are looking at this side, what are you seeing? You're seeing a blue circle. You think the world is a circle. If you're looking at this sun, you think that it's an orange square. But it's not, because it's a cylinder. So if you step up out of your perspective and you can see it from the outside, then you see that there is a different side to it, how you can see it. And once you have seen it, who can tell me what that is?
Guy.
It's a guy?
Thank you.
So once you have seen it, once you have seen that whatever the stories you are telling yourself, I'm not ready, I want to be perfect, that was my mistake, I screwed up. So once you see that that's a story you are telling yourself, you cannot unsee it anymore. Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's see. I said it's a guy, and the frog is the guy. The frog is the sign for the male toilets over there. So
There you go. You are right. So, and now try to look at this picture now. Can you mistake it for anything else other than a frog? Right? So that's how important it is to challenge your perspectives. The second thing I want to encourage you to do in this very quick, very fast-paced world is continuous learning, continuous self-development, continuous reaching out for new people, new business models. 85% of jobs that will be here in 10 years have not been invented now. Okay? So when we were going, many of us, have gone to school a long time ago. You know, like when I was going to school, we were learning something that we were supposed to be using for our lifelong. We were going to the universities and hoping to do our professions until we retire. Not anymore, and especially not anymore in this region. Okay, some of the professions, like many clerical jobs, many manual jobs, have already died out. They're not there. Instead, we are having new jobs like web content developer or web designer or I don't know, digital marketing. Those are jobs that have not existed 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And in the next 10 years, we will probably, I don't know, rocket designer, engineer, or space settlement strategist. I don't know what's going to be there, but being on top of things is the only sustainable way to remain relevant and to go with the time, right? Focus but flexible. That's what we are saying. Obviously, expertise is very important. And obviously for those who are in their own business, it's very important to be focused. I had to learn it. You know, when I came here, I was kind of, okay, I didn't know here anyone. So I was trying to go broader. You cannot really go broader, because if you go broader, you don't reach anyone. You have to have your perfect client. You have to have your market segment. You have to know where you're after. You have to offer them that specific solution that they're looking for. But flexible to change your mind, to see that the product didn't work, not to clinch to that product, not to clinch to that idea, right? To be able to develop outside of that. Valuable and timely offerings. That's the value. That's the only way we can be relevant as businesses, that we offer our clients whatever they need. Okay? And the third thing that I want to share with you today is the third way how we can become more successful and how we can become more accomplished and more happy, is effective networking. And I really love the networking that we had during the breakfast. And I'm really looking forward to more networking as we are done here. And I met this guy through networking. Anyone knows him? Gil Kakazil. He is like the world expert on effective networking. He's doing many speeches. He works with Tony Robbins. He's a representative of Tony Robbins in many regions of the world. And he is doing a lot of business, a lot of philanthropy, a lot of many amazing things by connecting people. And he's all about networking. He was in Dubai last week doing some of the seminars around Dubai. And as I'm saying, so my networking, I was invited to an event where he was there, so I had the privilege to interact personally with him, and I was really, really inspired. And what he was saying, you know, like what I also noticed in many, especially in this part of the world, not necessarily in this group, which I really enjoy, but in many networking events around Dubai, there are numerous. You go to the event, you go around the room, you spread your business cards, and you pitch yourself, right? And networking doesn't work like that. I mean, you might be lucky, but networking is bringing value. First of all, yourself, you are bringing value. You are visible. You go there and you tell about yourself, not saying, you know, like just a job definition. I'm an accountant, I'm a lawyer, I'm a consultant. But actually, what is that value that you're bringing? And when you're listening, so you also want to be listening to the people, what they are talking, what's their added value, where their value lies. Maybe you are not gonna be needing their services anytime soon, but you probably know someone who might, and you might refer that person, right? So these are the things that are so important for effective networking. Okay, so 3 tips from Gil. When you go to networking, go there with a goal to exchange energy, not to land clients, but to exchange energy. You go into the room, you read the room, you see who is there, and you go straight into the room with the mindset, I want to compliment every person in that room. And if you go with that mindset, you then choose who you want to talk to. And you're not just standing in the corner and talking to someone who stands in the same corner, right? And introduce yourself. So think of this like little 30-second pitch of what I represent and what is my added value. And listen. Listen to the people, what is their added value, so you really know. Ask questions. How long have you been? How did you come to that profession? What inspires you most in the things you do? So you really understand what those people do. Bearing in mind, I want to refer that person. If I want to refer that person, have I really understood what that person is doing, what that person is good at, how that person adds value? And the third and final point, I'm also not so good in that, follow up. You know, you don't build connections on that networking event. You only build connections over time. So stay in touch, keep in touch, and I'm looking forward to your questions, and after that to a lot of successful networking.